Welcome back everyone, Somber here. Let's talk about turn number 14 of my Skavenblight Warhammer War Nations game. There's quite a lot to talk about this turn, but I've already put in the orders. Let's have a look. So firstly, we've got quite a lot going on, including some battles. Only one of them involves us. So we've got evocation completed. That's level 2 evo, and that's going to give us pestilent breath for our plague priests and minor warp lightning for our warlocks. So that's kind of more of a defensive measure, but now we're going to be doing construction. Look for magic sites, didn't find any. Ratto Forehand did find. So this is my god doing a search just because I didn't want to charge into Bretonnia that turn. I was waiting for the next turn. So it's quite nice they did find something, and it's a blood site, which is quite unusual to find. You don't usually get that many sites from searching blood, so that's quite nice. And then we've got two battles here, which don't involve me, but are very important in terms of what I'm doing next. So the Ogres attacking Bretonnia in the Great Dunes. So a pretty significant commitment. These are pit fighters, very strong units. They're cap only, they're sacred. Actually, I'm not sure if they're cap only. Well, they're sacred anyway and very expensive. They've got a tyrant here, lots of ogre bulls, man-eaters. They've brought a slave giant, very expensive, very strong. Yeah, so pretty significant commitment. And then Noblar Chaff, and this is presumably to catch lancers. But yeah, not much defense from the Bretonnians there, so that's just gonna very easily cut through those. These units attacking on the flank here are saber tusks. They're kind of interesting because they've got a lot of survival, so they can move a long way. They're stealthy, but also they are animals, but they're not undisciplined, so you can tell them to hold an attack rear, which is quite nice. Anyway, yeah, they easily wiped out the Bretonnians there, losing basically nothing. And I'll show you in a moment where that is. And then we've also got Dark Elves attacking Bretonnia. So these are both people that I encouraged to attack Bretonnia, and I pretty much agreed it with the Ogres, but I wasn't sure if the Dark Elves were going to do it. But yeah, they've both gone for it. So their force is lots of missile weapons, mostly indie missile weapons, and then they've got a lot of Sisters of Slaughter. So these are mainly, they're very skilled troops, and they mainly rely on repel to get through fights. They don't have very much protection. I mean, it's not that bad, but yeah, pretty scary, and they've got quite a bit of them, so they make short work of the Bretonnians too. What else did they have there? They had, yeah, dread spears. I mean, it's primarily just kind of some missile weapons and then a line of Sisters of Slaughter. And I've talked to them, and they say they want to raid Bretonnia and just going to take some provinces. And then we get a lot of unexpected events. So the first two are hero events. So in my mods, rather than having heroes tied to the luck scale, so the more luck you have, the more heroes you get, and the more misfortune, you know, if you have 3 misfortune, you can't get any heroes. So rather than doing that, because I quite disliked it, I just set them up as events that have a percentage chance to happen each turn, and they can't happen very early in the game. Yeah, so I've got two. So the first one is Quick Head Taker. He's just a very good leader. He's quite good at fighting, but of course he's, you know, limited in terms of how tough he can be because he doesn't have any magic and he's not a giant. But he has a bunch of storm vermin with him. So I think he had, I think it was around 20 storm vermin he came with. So pretty nice. And then the even better hero, I have Skrulk, Plague Lord of Pestilence. And he's got some sensor bearers with him. So we'll have a look at those in a moment. And then we've got two unexpected events. One of them is that one of our warpstones mines has been exhausted, and we can build a laboratory there to reopen it. But, well, potentially reopen it. I think it might also explode if we do that. That's just how the Skaven are. But yeah, we're going to see more of these because we've got a few of them open. So it's a shame we lose 3 gem income a turn from that, but, you know, we've been very lucky with gem income already. And then in Mushwood, a group of knights is attacked. It's a pretty nasty event. That's what this battle is. 2 knight commanders, 16 knights, and some irrelevant militia. Yeah, I'll need to go and deal with that. That's because I've got both order and misfortune. That's quite a common event. And then this is just the enchantment events continuing. Yeah, so let's have a look at what's going on. So the first thing is, let's look at our heroes. Queek and Skrulk. So Skrulk is Death 3, Blood 2, which is nice to have. he is extremely poisonous and should be kept away from other units. But yeah, the main thing is, I mean, he's a pretty tough combatant. If you've got some buffs going on him, he's got fear. He's pretty good at fighting. He's tough. He's got some nice weapons. The important thing for us really is that he's a Holy 3 because it gives us another unit that can take stealth. He can stealth and take thrones, but also it gives us a divine blessing, and I'm actually going to be using that this turn. He's also an inspirational leader, so yeah, he can't get diseases. So yeah, pretty useful, and he came with a group of these censer bearers, which are my sacreds that are kind of glass cannons. They're very likely to just get killed. Although when they're blessed, they do get the protection buff from my incarnate bless. Yeah, they're nice because they give you, I mean, very high morale, which is unusual for Skaven, but they are undisciplined. But they give you the plague sensor weapon, which then has armor negating poison damage in an area effect on it. So they're very good for killing. Again, they're going to help with killing stuff that's got too high protection for my Skaven to deal with, you know, heavy cavalry, things like that. But yeah, just nice to have. So I've actually built an army out of the two of those. I'm going to move Skrulk because he's got a poison cloud. I'd forgotten that. And switch this over to just doing Word of Stone. Yeah. Yeah, so he's basically just going on to do a Divine Blessing. And I think he gives them more morale. Well, no, but it's more thematic for him to be leading the plague sensors. So he's giving a Divine Blessing to the Council Guard and going with Queek to take the Knights. They're also being met up by one of my chieftains who's bringing some rats over. So yeah, the rats, 20 rats, that's just there to eat the lance charge. And then I don't think there'll be much problem. I'm hoping, the main thing I'm worried about in this battle is just that my weapons teams, which are going to be very killy, are going to kill a lot of my Storm Vermin and Council Guard. But oh well, that's Skaven for you. So we should take that back, no problem. The reason I'm kind of immediately trying to take that back is I want the Witch's Bog back, but also I just think it's important to get the gold income back as soon as possible, even if I take some losses doing it. Yeah, so that generally when there's indie attacks, I'm going to be trying to take them back as soon as possible. So let's look at the Altdorf front. So I was worried about troop build up here, but it seems to have just disappeared. There's still some free infantrymen here. I think this might be guarding a fort going up, but they had their cavalry here. And where have their cavalry gone? I'm not sure. Somewhere else, but not bordering me. Possibly they moved up here. I don't think so though. Yeah, I think that they may be moving to deal with a perceived threat from one of these other nations, Orcs and Goblins, Tilea, or Dark Elves. Probably not Dark Elves though. But yeah, we'll see. If they come back, I'll just have to switch forces around to deal with them. So in this fort, I'm trying to build up a little bit more in terms of troops. So I'm getting a few, resource dump clan rats and still doing weapons teams. And I'm going to be recruiting some more assassins until I've got the fort upgraded, which should be next turn. And then I'll probably be doing mages there to speed my research up. And just because mages are generally the most useful thing in the game. So down here, this is the big news really, is I'm going all in on Bretonnia. So yeah, I had quite a few sneaky boys already sneaked into place. So they're attacking, like down here, just attacking this province. Fairly confident that's going to take the PD out. It's not a very tough force, and it's not a great risk to be doing that. I mean, a lot of this, if I lose, it's okay. It's just Skaven. I would have attacked the throne or this province, especially this province, so that I can get all this joined up and get the income coming in from this. I mean, at the moment, I'm just not going to get any income from that. I'm more taking it to distract them and to take away production from their capital. But yeah, my main objective here is basically secure this fort. I really want to have that. That's basically the point of this war. Grab these provinces. Maybe I'm going to either, if I take the throne by the end of it, that would be good. But if not, if I can border it so that I can go after it later, that would be good. This is where the Ogres are, so they're attacking into these provinces. Dark Elves are coming in from the east, and I've kind of talked to them to avoid a bump. They're basically just raiding around here. I think they might be going down here. Well, probably not actually. I told them I was attacking that. Yeah, so the only thing I'm really worried about is, so last turn the Grail Knights were all massed up in Rivia, and I wasn't sure what they were doing, but I thought maybe they were going for the throne, maybe they were moving to attack me, or like so they could go anywhere, but they definitely went for the throne. So we know there's a big collection of Grail Knights there, and probably because they're magic beings, they're being led by a Grail Maiden. So the Grail Knights have a map move of, let's just double check this. Pretenders of the World and then Bretonnia. So Grail Knights, map move 26, magic beings. Their magic leaders are typically map move 18. So if it's any of these, it's map move 18. They do have some dukes and Grail lords and national heroes and things that they could potentially have leading it. I didn't see one of those, but it's potentially they could be leading them. But if they've only got 18 map move, and bearing in mind they've just been attacked by the Dark Elves and the Ogres, I think from here they're most likely to move to here. It would be a strange move to go up here. So I'm basically planning on the knights being there, so I'm avoiding them, moving my people out of the way. I can't move from there to attack this province because I would run into the knights, I'm pretty sure, even if I was sneak attacking. I may have that wrong, but oh well. Yeah, so I think the knights are going to end up here. Should take these provinces, no problem. So this one I've got just lots of chaff attacking it, but they should take it over. Here, again, just lots of Skaven attacking it, but they probably should win. And then the main force is going for the castle. So pretty significant commitment. We've got lots of council guard. The Squirrel Gnawtooth and this huge number of rats. Lots of weapons teams, which are set to deal with the cavalry. Yeah, so pretty huge number. The main thing is just charge in with these swarm of rats. And the god's there. I don't think she's going to get involved in much fighting, really. But yeah, the god's there just in case, and to lead some troops. And to give us the automatic divine blessing as well, actually. So we won't be needing him to do that. But instead of casting that, he'll cast something useful. In fact, Skretic, my plague priest, you can go somewhere at the front, and you can cast a couple of pestilent breaths, and then you can advance and cast spells. So that's just more poison damage flying over the top. That's basically Breath of the Dragon, but in different paths. So yeah, we're going for this. One problem about doing this massive push of troops over here into this province is it's got 3 death, and the you know what I've just noticed, and what would have been a very silly error, is this does not have my Dominion in it because they built a temple. It's pushed it out, which means we don't automatically have the blessing from the god, which means you should be casting Divine Blessing immediately. Yeah, so that would have been a bit of a mistake. Wouldn't have had any blessing for my troops there. That also means that the Pretender doesn't get the benefit of the Bless. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I really don't think they're going to be doing that much fighting anyway, so... Yeah, so we're moving this big force here, but this has a death sight. That's why it's got death scales. Bretonnia does not have death scales natively. I don't have death scales natively. Just horrible misfortune 3. And yeah, the death sight in here is definitely diseasing things. So if I look at my troops, if I hover them and press W, it shows onto the afflictions. I can see that these 2 council guard, despite the Skaven having a bit of disease resistance, are diseased. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of our guys diseased by moving in there, but again, that's just what being a Skaven is all about. Getting diseased, getting incinerated by your own side, getting thrown into the meat grinder. That's a rat's life. Yeah, so just scouting out, haven't seen anything else particularly interesting to me. So this is the main thing, a big, what people would traditionally call an elfing with sneaky troops. Take a bunch of provinces, really hammer after this fort. I think that going after this might provoke the the knights to come charging in a big doom stack, but also they're going to have to worry about their cap because hopefully they'll have lost this province and the Dark Elves have taken this. They'll have to do something about that. So yeah, I'm hoping everything basically about their attention is going to be drawn in this direction for this turn at least, and then they'll be panicking when we take these provinces. So we'll see how that works out. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next turn. Welcome back, everyone. Somber here. Let's have a look at our turn number 15 and see how our sneaky Skaven plans went. So first off, we have a messenger from Izta, which I think has been sent to everyone. And this is a pretty cool message, so I'm just going to put it up on the screen. I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but you can pause and read it yourself. So a nice bit of role-playing there, and the message is that Izta is going to war with Nehekhara, that's the Tomb Kings. I thought this was really cool, so I've sent them a message, which I'll show you in a moment, just kind of taking part in a bit of role-playing. Now, we've got a lot of battles, most of them are ours, but then we also have a couple that we saw. This one is Bretonnia attacking the Ogres. So let's have a look here. So this is a Grail Damsel, and they have the Guardian Spirit ability, and it's resulted in this Guardian Spirit Knight appearing. So they're not amazing. The most important thing about them is they're ethereal, and they've got pretty great protection, plus the Heroic Blade, which does extra damage, so 3 times against larger beings, but no added strength added, so that's 18 extra damage if you're larger than size 2, if it hits you and does damage. So let's see what happens. The Ogres have a host of Noblars, a Slave Giant. These things are very scary, but I'm not sure how it's going to do against the ethereality. And then they've got at the back a Bruiser, some Pit Fighters, and a Slaughtermaster. So this must be on Bretonnia's southern border. I'm not sure why they're attacking with the Grail Damsel. Ah, now that's interesting. So the Ogre is decayed, and that is because, if we have a look here, we can see the Bretonnian Bless. This is actually really useful information for me to see because their Grail Knights, which is the main thing I'm worried about, they're all going to have this Bless. So they've got Morale, Decay Weapons, which is an Incarnate Bless. That means their God's woken up now. Shock Resistance 10, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for our Warp Lightning and Warp Lightning throwers. So maybe we'll want to use Warp Fire more than Lightning. Although I think the Warp Lightning does more than 10 damage and it's armor negating, so it should still get some damage in. Cold Resistance, Defense Skill +3, which is obviously good. Reinvigoration, Strength, Combat Speed, so it's a Rainbow Bless. And then they've got Combat Farcaster 50%, so that's actually pretty nice for their mages to be casting out various evocations and things. Yeah, so the giant did manage to hit it, but didn't do that much damage to it. I guess he got a good protection roll. And he managed to hit the giant, which means it's decayed. So I think the giant's basically doomed because max age 140, current age 60. Yeah, it's not looking great for it. It's also getting pretty chopped up. But it's fighting the Noblars at the front. Grail Damsel, it has got the Noblars just hurling scrap at her, but she's got a bit of protection, so... Did she cast Air Shield? Is that why this isn't doing anything? No, she's just being lucky. Protection 10, I mean, they don't have very high strength. The damage of flung scrap is very, very low, but something's going to get through at some point and hurt her. Oh, so the giant has run. Just a hit point route, I guess. Grail Damsel's killed by the flung scrap. He is not going to disappear because he's not mindless. He's a morale 30, so he's going to try and avenge her. And the Bruiser's running in. Alright, let's see what happens. So yeah, they've got very little hope of doing any damage to it with the flung scrap, but the Bruiser might get it with the club. These guys... Now that is interesting. Why are they not attacking? They're just standing there. They don't... Oh, maybe they've still got flung scrap ammo, but they don't want to hit the Bruiser? I am not sure. Well, he's decayed as well and has run away. Not looking good for you, my friend. Age 46, match age 60. speed this up. That's going to take a while for him to chop through all those Noblars, and maybe they'll get some hits in and kill him. Yep, they got him. So, let's have a look at the stats. So they lost a Grail Damsel. They don't really care about the Noblars. A Bruiser, that's a bit annoying for them. And the Slave Giant being lost is not good. So, yeah, a bit strange that they attacked. I'm not sure what happened there. But it nearly worked. Then we've got various battles that I do. I'll have a look at this this other battle that I've seen here. So this is the Chaos Dwarfs attacking Nehekhara, which is interesting. I thought that might happen because having talked to them, they're just too close to each other. Tomb Kings hold territory right near their cap, and they just can't take it. So it was pretty inevitable that they were going to end up fighting. This is a pretty nice army. This is the army we saw before, in fact. Lots of Fireglaves and some Bull Centaurs. The formation there, there's a little gap in the middle, so all the slaves have just trickled through. That's kind of cool. I wonder if they did that on purpose. And yeah, there's really nothing here to stop them, so this is just province defense. So let's have a little look there. Yeah, took the province defense, and I think because the province defense there is just Nehekhara and stuff, I think that means that was a fort. But let's have a look at our battle. So White Peaks, this was the forted province that we were attacking. This is our main force, guard, weapons teams, lots of rats because we've got Squeal Gnawtooth there, and a sizable chunk of council guard, so significant from us. And then this is just province defense. So what's going to happen is the weapons teams are going to blast all over it. There's the poison mortar going off, and the giant rats. A lot of my own rats are going to get eradicated here just by all the stuff flying out, but it's kind of good for Bretonnia because they get to see what I'm using, but obviously this turn's going to be a bit of a shock to them because they're being attacked everywhere, and I don't think they knew I was going to attack them. But yeah, we'll see. And of course they get to see my guard, they get to see my bless. They've probably already seen that, but they may not have seen the equipment that she had. Yeah, interesting. So that I'll be sieging now, and we can see here, started to destroy it. The walls are critically damaged, so probably just another turn to take that, so that we can then storm. But Bretonnia, I'm sure, is going to try and stop me. So then Thornwoods is the southernmost province, I think. Yes, this is the southernmost province that's not connected to the others, so I won't get any income from this, but it was good to take it from them to distract them. So it's just some stuff I had left over. There's not much province defense. Yeah, it's just weight of numbers. I mean, quantity has a quality all of its own. So, Thornwoods, some giant rats, a Skaven slave, doesn't matter. Mushwood was one of the... Oh, it's the knights took one of my provinces from me. So this is kind of interesting to see how my weapons teams do. So that poison landed there, and it's a lot of poison to this knight. Yeah, pretty good against very armoured stuff. Rats to take the charge, although a lot of them are just getting blasted by my own things. And then in move more stuff. I think I scripted this a bit wrong. I think a few too many of my own troops are going to get hit by the weapons teams here. And they may get hit by the censer bearers when they start throwing poison clouds around as well. I guess we'll see though. But I am certain that these knights are completely doomed. Yeah, I mean, glaives and weapons teams, they just get overwhelmed and killed. So I'm guessing I lost a few of my better troops there, which sucks. But giant rats, yep, don't care. Council guards 4, storm vermin 6. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I take the province back. I get the money. You know, I'd rather not keep losing council guards. I don't. Storm vermin's okay. They're 11 gold each, but yeah, we'll see. Then Erd is the northwestern province of Bretonnia, one of those 3 provinces I was taking that were connected to the fort and 2 other ones, I think it was. Not much province defense. Barbarians are good at fighting, particularly ones with swords, but when they're this outnumbered, I mean, they're just not going to get much done because they get harassed down. The Skaven slaves are, I mean, the Skaven clan rats are good enough at fighting. They have pretty good defense skill. They got a base defense of 11 and then a shield, so they're not the easiest things to just whack in one hit. Yeah, they just overwhelm stuff. So yeah, even the rats are just chewing things up. Oh, my chieftain's getting a hit in there. That's cool. Yeah, so that was another win for me. So far, all of my attacks are going absolutely fine. And then Griffin Rock is the westernmost one, I think. And again, they just don't have very much. They have a bit of PD. It's perfectly understandable. It's like 6 or 7 PD, I think. In fact, I think that is 6 because they've only got 1 heavy cav. If they had 7, they'd have another one. But yeah, it's, you know, weight of numbers. We just overwhelm them. This is a very cool turn, very good Skaven turn. Just bursting out of the ground all over their land and stealing stuff from them. Very nice. And then Chibia, we have got another Warpstone theme. So as I said, I think I'm going to tone this down a bit, make these a little bit less common. But, you know, for now, that's nice. And we've completed the upgrade to the fortress in the northern bit of our territory. So let's have a quick look first at that message I sent. So I've sent off to Izta 1 Earth Gem representing dust, 1 Astral Pearl representing the moon, and I've sent them a message. I'll just let you read that. You can pause it and read it if you want, but it's just a little bit of role playing there, just to kind of say, hey, it's cool that you're doing role playing. I like that. Right. So up here, I've got my upgrade. I am recruiting Warlock Engineers, really trying to put horsepower into my research at the moment, and I'd really like to get an Earth 3 one. That is what I am missing, is an Earth 3 Warlock Engineer, because until I get an Earth 3 Warlock Engineer, I have to wait for Earth Boots before I can make a Dwarven Hammer to get the forge discounts, and there's various things I want to forge once I got the hammer, but yeah, it'd be really nice to get one. I'm sending my assassin down. A lot of stuff is kind of traveling down to this border because I really need to make sure I retain that territory in Bretonnia, even if they are struggling against, you know, multiple people attacking them. And it's very unfair, but that is just the Skaven way. Form a big pack and drag down whoever looks weak. So yeah, getting a Warlock Engineer, some weapons teams just to build them up because they're rec limited, and then a little bit of resource dumps there. Still no movement from Altdorf, really. I can see that they're going around sight searching the hell out of all their provinces now. They've got their mages moving around. I'm just kind of patrolling a bit on their border, making sure that they know I have some troops around here. I'm not totally committed elsewhere. Also, it's good if you show people troops on their border, if you're Skaven, and then you have them, you know, patrol for a turn maybe, and then sneak move to a different place. They're kind of constantly appearing and disappearing. I think that's you know, if they're paying attention, that could be quite useful for making them doubt whether stuff's there or not. And then we have the Bretonnian border. So over here, Skrolk is going to, he's got enough map moves and his followers are very fast. So they're going to be able to move over into White Peaks to help with a possible reprisal from the Bretonnians. Queek is moving up in backup, and I'm building some more forces here. And I'm moving in some more. So there's another unit of Council Guard and Storm Vermin, more weapons teams, and Skaven slaves. Which I think I am, yeah. They should be right at the front trying to catch some lances along with all the giant rats. So yeah, I'll move those in. I've consolidated my raiding forces a bit here. So you can see I successfully got this kind of sweep across here. And at the moment these are all connected. This was exactly as I planned, which is really nice when I predict something and it actually happens. Was the Bretonnians moved back here, and you know, they can cause a lot of trouble from there, but I didn't attack that. I specifically missed getting hit by their big force, which was nice. Yeah, I have. I can see that they've left behind a Grail Prophetess, which is a Holy 3, and that's to take the throne there. And these are presumably bodyguards, the questing knights, which makes sense because I do have assassins. I think they're going to move out of the throne. I don't know. Basically, I have to accept that any of these forces could just end up being destroyed. They're not particularly strong. They're good against province defense, but they will get, pretty much wrecked against either a large amount of province defense or some serious troops. Like a small number of Grail Knights, 5 Grail Knights could probably beat up this entire force. Just kill them all. I mean, they've got a good bless. Yeah, so I'm hoping they can't split them up that much because they require magic leadership, and they may not have enough damsels in that army to move them and split them up to take different provinces. Also, Bretonnia has to be somewhat worried about its capital because the Ogres here moved out and took both these provinces. They're going to be going after both of these provinces almost certainly. There's a large stack of Dark Elves. It's mostly mercenaries, but they do have the Sisters of Slaughter. It's a pretty big stack that would be good for siege strength to go after the capital. I'm hoping they're more worried about going after their capital and less bothered about trying to either take this land back or, more importantly, go after White Pigs. But I do think that there is a kind of psychological incentive to just go and try and clear that fort, particularly as they've got troops trapped in it. So I am concentrating quite a big force there. So it's Council Guard and Storm Vermin, which are moving in a big line of Council Guard and Storm Vermin. My god, various weapons teams, lots of chaff, lots and lots of chaff, lots of rats. Squeal will be there. And then I'm also sending in Warlocks. I'm partly doing this because they've got great siege strength. I just want to siege it out. And it's partly because next turn I will have... So I've got Minor Warp Lightning, I've got Summon Lesser Earth Elemental, and they've got gems for that. And next time I'll have Legions of Steel, because I'll have Construction 3. So for that, I've got this guy, he's got some gems, but he's on conservative gem usage. But I have... So he's basically coming along to give them backup gems, and I'll probably have a scout or a chieftain pick those up rather than him walking around with them. But I forgot to get that ready. But he's going to summon Earth Power and then just cast spells. And I hope he'll get Legions of Steel off because he's got... Yeah, he'll have 3 Earth. And I'm doing the same thing here. Rat of Foretail is going to cast Earth Power for the Reinvigoration and then cast a spell. I hope it's Legions of Steel or something useful, but we'll see. And then attack. So this is a big force. I think it would beat up this Bretonian force. I'd rather not find out because I know that I would lose a huge amount of stuff. I might lose my god. Who knows? The other thing I'm trying to do here to make sure that I can defend it and take the fort more easily is I'm having both of these preach. I've got my prophet here, I've got my god here, and I've got 2 preachers. They may be inside the temple preaching. There may be enemy priests in there. I mean, there probably are. Or they may be researching because they're mage priests. But yeah, I'm hoping I can switch this over to Positive Dominion because then I'll get a Blessing for the God and a boost of morale for my troops, which would be nice. So we shall see. At the moment, she's got only 84 hit points, which sucks a bit, but such is life. Yeah, I think that's more or less it for this turn. Over here, I'm speculatively attacking. I'm pretty sure they'll move out and they won't go south. I think they might head here, or they might head to the fort, or they might split up all over the place. But I'm basically attacking because why not? These are disposable troops. By attacking, I might get another province. I'm going to try and get the throne here. Maybe I will pick out one of the Grail Prophetesses and take them out. Maybe I'll run into Grail Knights and get slaughtered. I'm not sure. But I think it pays to be aggressive at this point because Bretonnia is going to be very off balance. They've got a lot of problems coming their way. And their gold is significantly down. And mine is significantly up at this point. I'm over the 1k mark. Yeah, so pretty happy with how that worked out, but we'll see how it goes. Also still worried about someone attacking me while I'm a bit vulnerable, but... Oh, the other thing is, just to look at recruitment, last turn I started recruiting a Grey Seer, so this turn I'll get one. That'll get me into Astral, yeah, possible Astral 3, Death 3 would also be nice. Don't really want the fire magic on him, but I might end up getting it. Having Fortune Teller is nice, and having H3 is obviously fantastic. So I think I need to get some Grey Seers, and I can only get them in the capital. So now I've got the second fort up and running and making mages. That's what I'll be doing there. Oh, the last thing is just to say that I'm starting to recruit some gutter runners. I think maybe this game has been a little bit disappointing for people so far in the variety of troops that I've recruited. It's mostly been Stormvermin and Council Guards because of the particular circumstances I was in and the bless I had. But I'll try and get a little bit more variety in there so that people can kind of enjoy seeing the different types. What the hell? I'll probably just throw in a Poison Wind Globadier as well to join the Gutter Runners. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye now.